Hello to you, my fellow printed dweebs. You're very welcome to another episode of Community News from 3D Jake. All the news from the community and what's going on with us too. I'm joining you from the 3D Jake office in the center of Graz in southern Austria, a country that is not an island on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean.
I think a bit more, yes.
Oh my god! Both today and yesterday.
And I'm very happy about this. Here's what's going on in 3D printing right now. All right, as always, what is new in the shop? And recently we have two new cool printers, the Snapmaker U1 and the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2. So you probably have heard about these already. They've been hyped, especially the U1. This is a 270 cubed 4-tool tool changer. We did a video about this a couple of weeks ago. I've linked it down below if you want to see how well it performs for us. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be in stock very soon. Snapmaker are focusing on their own orders as well as all of the pledges from their wildly successful Kickstarter campaign. But I am really looking forward to seeing other people in the community use this and other cheap tool changers, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of those in the coming year, of course, because of other developments like Bondtech's Index. What we do have in stock, though, is the Centauri Carbon 2, and this was just released on Monday this week. A bit different from the U1, the canvas multicolor unit is relatively old tech, so you're getting purge waste with this. I'm currently testing it. There will be a video next week. Despite the old tech, it is pretty okay. I have been printing a lot of ABS and carbon fiber filament, and it works really well with those. There have been a lot of test videos come out from people in the community on YouTube. I've linked a few down below, so check those out if you're interested. Our video is coming out next week, so check it out then. We also added new carbon fiber filament to our own brand range. This is PLA CF, PETG CF, ABS CF, and ASA CF. And we also did a video about this last week. The link is down below. PLA and PETG look really great. ABS and ASACF, but especially ABS-CF, are very, very rigid, and I really love them for this. And of course, carbon fiber hides layer lines beautifully. Okay, guns. So you might have heard about this. Washington House representatives are pushing a bill to ban all 3D printers that do not comply with blocking features that would deploy a firearms blueprint detection algorithm. And this is supposedly to discourage the growth of 3D printed ghost guns. It's actually really hard to address this because it's just so batshit insane. Firstly, you'll probably be better off not using a 3D printer to make a gun. If you wanted to make a decent gun, a 3D printer is something I would not recommend. I mean, I wouldn't recommend getting a gun either. I heard they're quite loud, so not really suitable for use on Sundays. On the crazy side, blocking 3D models that you might print, is that even possible? The printer would need to connect to a database to cross-check, but designs can be changed. That's sort of the whole point with 3D printing. It's versatile. You're able to change, edit, mod a design as you so like to hide intent through appearance. I mean, maybe that is already possible, but then, you know, offline printers. There would be no way to enforce that. In the best case scenario, if this law is passed, you would just be creating undocumented felons. Some people argue that the ghost gun focus is actually just a pretext for copyright enforcement. Certain companies who don't want their creative works distributed online. Maybe. But that's a really weird way to go about it, because legislators would be pushing for a law targeting individuals that violates US constitutional rights and privacy laws, while there is already a decently strong legal framework to enforce copyright through cease and desist orders against model hosting sites. You know, where everyone gets their 3D models. Seems like a way easier approach if the goal is copyright enforcement. I don't think there's a pretext here. I think this is simply poorly informed legislators, or in the worst case scenario, it's anti-gun advocates vainly attempting to restrict gun rights because the gun lobby is just so strong in the States, and this is the only way they can make an impact and call it a victory. That would make sense because this is coming from Washington State, which has very strict gun laws compared to other states in the US. It's sort of a battleground, having a very strong anti-gun crowd and a very strong pro-gun crowd. I hope it's one of those anyway, because the alternatives seem a lot scarier. In other less crazy news, Creality are releasing a filament shredder and filament maker. Ooh. Yeah, they're actually teasing this on their own crowdfunding page. I'm not sure if that means that they won't be using Kickstarter, but it hasn't launched just yet. It's still a tease. There's limited information. But yeah, 2 machines, apparently suitable to use with pretty much every common filament, even TPU, nylon, and polycarbonate. And they're boasting a 1 kilogram per hour output and a 0.05 millimeter tolerance. It's kind of cool how the filament maker works. It looks like it carries the extruded filament on a rail as it cools before spooling it. That's actually pretty much all the information that we have right now. Thanks, Creality. But seriously, it does look very interesting, and I'm looking forward to hearing more info about it. Okay, Context's 2025 report on 3D printing has been released, and they have highlighted a split in 3D printing, with the low and high end experiencing a rise and the middle contracting. Everything under $2,500 is selling really well, and everything over $100,000 is also selling well, with an improvement because last year there was a little dip. Everything in between, however, has seen shipments fall 13% since last year. The growth in units shipped for low-cost printers has actually been in the double digits, 18% growth in 1 year globally. Of course, China is still the leader in production. In fact, Bamboo and Creality together accounted for 57% of global entry shipments in Q3, which is crazy. Bamboo's valuation could be up to $10 billion, with Tencent recently investing. DJI are investing in Elegoo, Snapmaker are being invested in by Hillhouse, Meituan, Shunwei, Longshu, Nanshan, Kowin, and Orient Securities, and Creality are filing for an IPO. Remember when 3D printing was just run by hobbyists? Alright, that about does it for this month. As always, links to all the stories and videos are down below in the description. Take a look, let us know what you think, and you can also join our Discord server where there is printer talk on a daily basis. Again, link is down below. We'll be back with another video next week, so until then, later.